What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. Hype. So, the state of Multiplat happened yesterday. The state of play June version happened yesterday. And I actually watched Dirt watch it. So, that was kind of cool. There's a whole thing going on between C Money and Sean. I don't think I want to talk about that right now, but I saw Sean's stream today, and let's just say it was hilarious. Sean is the man. Anyway, the state of Multiplat. The state of play. The state of third party. You know what I mean. Like, if I were to step outside of my body, the X-bot that I am, right? I'll step outside the console war, and like erase my mind so that I'm a super casual person and I didn't have the experience of being now I am a former graphics whore. If I was still a graphics whore, I would think that was the best showcase in the world because of the graphics. But I am wise, and I have learned lessons of graphic whoredom where, it's you can tell another gamer that game is whack, but they'd be like, but look at the graphics, and then they're graphics whore. But then you cannot teach them, you can't explain to them why the game is bad or why the game isn't as good as you may think, because they're blinded by the graphics. The only way for them to understand why that game may not be as good as it may look is that they have to go through it themselves. They have to experience the disappointment of playing a game that is ass booty cheeks, but it looks good. Now, I'm not saying any of the games on there are that. I'm just saying PlayStation has a very bad habit of showing shiny games. And the gameplay is not the first thing. The gameplay is not paramount. The gameplay is not the most important thing when PlayStation makes games. Now, you're looking at Wolverine. I'm looking at Wolverine. I'm like, okay. Wait. Okay, that's gameplay. And then it goes into a cutscene real quick. And then, it'll have like a finisher or whatever. And then, there's some cutscene and he's driving the motorcycle. Are you controlling the motorcycle? I can't even tell. It's like Uncharted, which they didn't control. You didn't control the motorcycle. So I'm like, okay. And so, and it's not an open world. It's a linear story-based action adventure game. So it's like, is it just a bunch of fights and then action scene, cinematic, get into a little corridor, a little courtyard, some more fights, let's go on top of a train, some fights. Is that what the whole game, 10 hours of that, 15, 12 hours of that? I don't know how long the game's gonna be. It looked good. Once again, I'm not a graphics whore anymore, so I can look past the pretty graphics and say, well, what's the gameplay though? What's the loop? And is that loop enough? Is it fun? First and foremost, there's a lot of goopy gob blood. Is very thick and gelatinous blood. It's goopy gobbity blood. They borrowed a lot from the movie Logan. Let's keep it real. Now, I haven't watched the comic. I haven't read the comics in 1,000 years. So I don't know if he was doing the snicked up in the skull, but I know for sure that he did that in Logan, and he did it in slow motion. Well, he did it in fast motion in the first one. They were messing with his limo. But then when Professor X was having his spasm, he was having a seizure, and everything was like in slow motion. He was like, that was the most gangster scene. There's so many cool scenes in that movie, but that slow motion, putting his claws through dude's head. I'm like, yo, that's just it's like this. You can't describe. It's like, so everything. Like, I've already been spoiled. Like, Logan to me is kind of the best portrayal of Wolverine outside of something. Maybe they'll do an Old Man Logan in the future, which might be kind of cool. But Logan was like, okay. And so anything I see now that Insomniac thinks it's not as impactful because James Mangold, he directed it. He did it already. He that one scene, I was like, that's like, that one kill, that one scene, better than anything that I've seen in the Wolverine game so far. Once again, is it enough? Is it like, what's the story? Oh, hey, Red. I'm like, okay, sure. And they're gonna tag team, and then somebody put the correlation where I forgot who it was. I think it might have been Mr. Matty Plays, or it might have been kind of funny dudes or whatever. I've been listening to a whole bunch of stuff, but anyway, they put the correlation where Sony's making the same. They've been doing this for years, but Sony is making the same games. They're creatively bankrupt because they said, okay, Wolverine's fighting, and then Jean Grey shows up, and then they fighting together, and boom, boom, boom. It's like, boom, she does this, and he right. And then they made the correlation. This is all in the same show, so they did the correlation with Faye, and the Cube, and they're fighting the Jello cubes fighting together. I was like, I mean, that's the formula. You get the third-person action adventure, whatever. You get a sidekick. Atreus, hello. Last of Us, hello. It's the same formula. They're like, okay, we have the checklist, the Sony first-party checklist. What is it? Okay, main protagonist, female. Well, we're gonna decide on whether it's no. Female. Okay, female. Check. Okay, sidekick, basketball. Oh yeah, because in the other game we had a Jello cube, so why can't we have a basketball? I mean, you're not wrong, but how does that make sense? Listen, Magic. But a Magic basketball? Does it talk? Of course it talks. Of course it talks. Let's get some veteran actors' kids to be the basketball. And then maybe Colin Hanks could do it. Yes, because Tom Hanks would, and then Wilson. Remember that movie where he was on a island castaway, and then he was talking to a volleyball. See, had the correlation with talking balls, but the volleyball never said anything because he was kind of crazy. Listen, that's the formality that doesn't need to be explained. Anyway, talking ball, female protagonist. What else? Third person? Well, of course it's gonna be. We gotta put the clothes on. We gotta sell some clothes to put on our person so that we can have some money. What do you think we'd run here for charity? I'm sorry. Anyway, somebody put that correlation together where, they're making the same game. And then, I just added The Last of Us and God of War just off the top of the head because those, the most popular. And I'm like, oh snap. They're kind of right. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just pointing out the pattern. And so we're looking at what PlayStation has offered us, not including what was the Until Dawn 2. Nobody cares about that game. Nobody cares about that game. Nobody cares about that game so much. Sony doesn't care about that game because they literally fired and destroyed and nucleified the studio that made the first game, and now they have how does that work? Did they literally get rid of everybody, or did they say, all right, we're going to close y'all down, but we're making a new studio. All of y'all just move over for tax purposes, and we have to fire you and then rehire you, but you're not going to get paid as much. You still want to work? That's probably what happened. I'm just saying. But, yeah, so I was looking at it, I was like, oh, dude, cut that other dude in half. Oh, there's a sex scene. Oh, that's all I remember. And it's tropical. I don't know. Whatever. I was like, I definitely don't care about that game. But look, they bookended it with the most important games because Stuntman Hollywood looked dope because Knight Rider and Back to the Future and all that stuff. But Rayman looked good. There's a bunch of cool games, but most of the games third party. Most of the games multiplat. No logos though. I didn't see no Xbox logos. So Danny, Paris, that's your boy. Talk to your boy. Did Danny put out a post talking about your PlayStation where the logo's at? Did he say that? I'm just saying. This is not. We're not gonna be playing favorites here. This is a war, right? All's fair in war and war. I'm just saying, if PlayStation feels that this is how they're gonna do business, and why is it uncouth? Why is it unfair? Why is it frowned upon for anyone else to do the same? Right? That's how it's done. That's what's wrong with that. They're getting away with it, right? So why is there a problem if Xbox does it? If they do it. But you know what? I'm gonna hold judgment till after Sunday, but I think the way they set it up, the way that Asha set it up is more, I think it's more powerful, because basically they said, okay, we're gonna put the logos on the games that are going multiplat, whatever, right? And then what if they have two games maybe? I think only two games that I know of, which are not Gears, Halo and Forza. They already said that, right? Those two games definitely. And people have a problem with Halo Campaign Evolved. I don't necessarily, because it's only the single player. And they're like, well, it's an iconic franchise. Blah, blah. I'm like, look, they're trying to get Halo worldwide. They're trying to blow it up. I'm like, yo, let these ponies and Doc Unicorns play it. And most of them probably have played it already, but let them play it on PlayStation, and they say, oh, that's cool. And then they be like, yeah, but you ain't getting the next one. You want the next one? Go buy Xbox. Just saying. I'm just saying. There's only one Sea of Thieves, I was gonna say. But Forza Horizon 6 still exclusive. It's blowing up. Everybody love that game. Even though Clutch is the new game by Mike Brown, I think his name was. He was the former head of Playground Games that made the Forza Horizon games, and he was formerly from the studio that made. Wow, I totally forgot that name. The name of the game, Motorstorm for PlayStation. Right, so he went from Motorstorm to Forza Horizon to now he's doing Clutch, which is Maverick Games. And so I saw that. I was like, okay, that looks interesting. The cars look good. Look, the only thing, here's the deal with me. The only thing that would make me buy Clutch, I might want to, if it's on Game Pass or something, I'll play it. I'll see. I'll look into it. But the only thing that would make me buy Clutch, unseen, well, not sight unseen, but unplayed, is if they have a 2009 Chevrolet Trailblazer SS. Give us the varied engines. They have all kind of customizations and stuff. Give us some rims. I just want the stock rims, the 6 spokes. Boom, the SS rims. Give me the 9-incher. Well, you know how Forza does it. You can make them bigger and small. Just give me that, and I'll be like, I love your game. Even if the game is not that good, I'm like, at least I could drive my truck in it. simple things. But anyway, back to the state of play. So let's talk about Wolverine. I know we talked about it a little bit. I talked about it a little bit, but let's talk about it in a more general way, and in a way that is not like, oh man, look, the blood globules are really beautiful, and the healing factor was cool, but then his suit was healing too, and then the blood evaporated real quick, and I'm like, that's all like nitty gritty, nitpickety bitty stuff. Like all that stuff doesn't matter. Honestly, what matters most in that game is the story. If the story is trash, don't matter how good your game is. I mean, just look at Spider-Man 2. Nobody liked that game. Some people liked it, but they liked the first one better because it had a better story. They definitely like Miles Morales way better. I think it had the best. I don't know if it had the best story over 2018, but possibly. But so outside of the story, which we don't really know that much, I mean, think like I said before, think about like the gameplay loop. Like, how can I play this for 20 hours, 15 hours? Is it gonna be fun? And the other side of it, outside of the actual game, is how big is Wolverine? You know, people are like, oh, Deadpool and Wolverine made all this money. I was like, it wasn't because Wolverine. I mean, Wolverine's cool. Don't get me wrong. I love Wolverine. Hugh Jackman is an excellent actor. He's not, I mean, he's the MCU Wolverine, whatever, but he's not really Wolverine. He's way too tall. He's like a foot too tall to be Wolverine, A. Not Canadian, B. And he didn't really sound like a Wolverine, because literally when the creators wrote Wolverine in, anyway, I'm just talking for like the Jim Lee era, because that's mainly what I read. I read that and a little bit of Alan Silvestri, the Uncanny X-Men stuff. And Wolverine was like, hey, bub, you know, he was just like a character. He was literally a character, a short, hairy Wolverine guy. He was very hairy, and he was Wolverine-y, and he was short, because Wolverines are little. They're like, rah, you know? And that's what, anyway, so I went off on a little bit, but like, you know, I'm looking at Wolverine. I'm like, okay. Once again, the graphics, oh, it looks great, and for the uninitiated and the easily gullible, they will trick you into thinking it's a good game without kind of analyzing the actual game part of the game, if that makes any sense. You know, you look at the look at the part where he jumps and he goes on and he jumps to crash into the truck. I'm like, you're not even controlling nothing on. That's all cutscenes. That's not gameplay. You know, and that's where you get a little twisted. And then here's the other thing, where you compare it to Spider-Man, because literally same company, same studio made it, blah blah blah. Spider-Man 2018 will be the better game, period. Right? Why? Because of traversal. You cannot I would say even Spider-Man 2 has better traversal. It has better. I haven't even seen all the traversal of Wolverine, but explain to me how Wolverine get across, I was going to say the city, but it's not open world. And that's the reason why it's not open world, because he can't do nothing. I mean, he can like climb up the wall like the Hulk in Ultimate Destruction with his claws, but nah, I don't see it. It's like, and they literally showed you how immobile he is because he was like, oh, I got to chase that dude. The bad guy's getting away. And he looks over and there's a motorcycle, no shiny motorcycle. That'll work, bub. And he jumps on it. He didn't say bub. He should have, though. He jumps on, and he's Wolverine in full costume riding a motorcycle. Huh? Come on, son. He should have some Tony Stark tech or something. He goes beep boop boop, and wings, Alvarine, or I don't know. Turns into Hawkerine. I don't know what it would be. You know, put some rocket boots, anything. But he might as well just got into a Kia or something, just like a Yugo, like beep, 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 beep. You know, that'd have been funny. Look, I don't know how they're just gonna have a bunch of different set pieces, and it's gonna be the same game in different places with different destructible environments. Once again, I'm describing it. I'm describing just the basic gameplay, right? And then they'll have these set pieces where he's jumping here and he's sliding down a building and glass is flying, and you're like, oh, that's cool, but you're not playing. That's what you're getting. And that's what Sony makes. They make these cinematic type games with minimal gameplay. Not saying the gameplay is bad, I'm just saying the gameplay is not the first and foremost thing that you do. So I'm like, it's not gonna do as well as Spider-Man A, because Wolverine is not as popular. If it was Wolverine and Daredevil and Wolverine the game or something like that, if Daredevil shows up, if Daredevil pops in, if Deadpool pops in halfway through the game, and then it's a buddy cop, or you know, it's a combo deal with them, both of them, you can switch character. I'll be like, oh, you know what? That would be crazy. That's not gonna happen, though. Come on, son. Ryan Reynolds is like, nah, bro. You're not getting the game out of me. Nope. And also, it's not going to be Ryan Reynolds, because this does not exist in the MCU. This Wolverine is Marvel's Wolverine. Is so PlayStation's, Sony's, Marvel's Wolverine, whatever they call it. And it doesn't exist in the MCU. which is ridiculous because they have multiverse, so it could literally exist, but it doesn't. So whatever. I don't honestly. I don't care. I mean, maybe it does. Maybe I'm wrong about it. Let me know in the comments below if I am wrong about it existing in the MCU or possibly existing. But as far as I understand it, it doesn't. So I mean, it exists with Spider-Man, but I don't even. I mean, the only way that they can't even do that because they canceled the multiplayer Spider-Man game. So it's like, I was gonna say, oh, if they make a multiplayer game, then they can have Spider-Man and Wolverine in it, and then Jean Grey, and then Cyclops, and all these people, and then you can play all the different. I was like, that's not gonna work. That's not. Logistically, that doesn't work. But you know, it's whatever. Sony. Anyway, let's jump to Goddess of War, Faye. I heard a lot of people. I listened to Zocker. I heard someone say that Zocker he flipped, so he's a pony now or something. I don't know if he is, but whatever. Someone said that, so I was like, okay. And then I listened to his video about the state of play, and he was going deep. Pause. I mean, he was filleting a lot. He liked it a lot, and I was like, I mean, look, I'm a bot. So I know that I'm going to be hypercritical of PlayStation because they've gotten too many passes in all these years. And so they can't get no passes. And I'm glad I'm seeing people out there saying 7 out of 10, 5 out of 10, blah, 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 right? I haven't seen too many people like, oh, 10 out of 10. Because a lot of idiots like J-Dub and all these fools, they were doing predictions and they were wildly mistaken. They were, oh yeah, GTA is gonna be there and all this game, Infamous 2, 3, Infamous 29 and all. I'm like, okay. None of that was there. Sony can't afford. Y'all don't realize Sony's broke. They can't afford GTA. I'm surprised they can afford to pay any of these fools any type of money. So that's where I'm like, wait a second. If Sony's broke and you know GTA doesn't need like the little money that Sony has, or they would have to borrow to pay Rockstar, they go over to Microsoft and be like, yo, I know y'all got money. So here's the price. And then they say, yo, here's the price. Y'all want to pay, you pay. You don't want to pay, you get no marketing. That's what it's up. And it forces them to pay. That would be this. If I was Strauss Zelnick, that's his name. I'll be like, yo, ain't no exclusivity on the marketing. This is how it works. You want to buy a market, you want to put your badge on the back of our thing. This is what it costs. Boosh. How many you want? How much you want? The more you pay, the more you get. This is business, right? So they can make a little bit of cash on that end. It's not going to offset the production costs, obviously, because GTA is like crazy big. But anyway, that wasn't there. What other games? No rest for it. It's a bunch of games we already saw. And so the game that we didn't see was Until Dawn 2, which, whatever, who cares? God of War, Lady Girl. We saw Wolverine already, but they just showed us more of what we already saw. We saw the motorcycle thing before. And then at the end, like, who are you? I'm Wolverine. Yeah. I'm like, does he try to do an Iron Man thing where he said, I'm Iron Man? That didn't work. That was not. And his voice is not bad, but it's not like. It doesn't. I have to hear it again because when I heard it, it didn't register like, yeah, that's Wolverine. There you go. It's almost like Hugh Jackman. His Wolverine is Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. It's a very separate thing. But like if you do like just a generic Wolverine voice, it's like, hey, you know, it's a gravelly low voice, right? But yeah. Anyway, sorry. But I'm trying to think like what else. Hollywood, Stuntman Hollywood, that was cool. That was another one that was whatever. But once again, Multiplat, State of Multiplat. But yeah, so God of War. That's Corey's next game, I guess. And didn't that sound like a dinosaur? Y'all probably can't hear that. That sounded like a dinosaur. Anyway, okay, so there was one. Somebody already did it though. I was watching it and I saw there was like one frame of her face that was like, rawr. I mean, there was a couple of them, but there was like, rawr. I was like, whoa, that's like a Craig moment right there. But somebody already did it. They took that and they put it side by side with who did they put? I forgot who they did put it next to. It was another Sony game. I can't remember who it was. Was it the Ghost of Yote Lady? No. It wasn't Aloy. It was somebody. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But I saw it and I was like, wow, okay, whatever. And people are saying, oh man, they made the character model look uglier than the actor. What's her name? It's not Karen, that's her name in Daredevil. Whatever her name is. But I was like, it's hard to make video game characters look really, really like the... I mean, Kojima's pretty good, but I think his lighting needs to be a little better. But, I mean, that's just hardware stuff, you know. The PlayStation can't handle that. I guess it looks better on PC. Of course it does. So God of War Laufey? That's how you say it? When I first saw her fighting, she was flying up in the air and flipping and stuff. I was like, oh, that's like Devil May Cry. Okay. That's cool. I'm not into Devil May Cry, just FYI. So I was like, okay. And she has magic, okay. Then she got beat up by them soldier dudes. They were roughing her up. I was like, oh, okay. And she was punching them. I was like, oh, she can punch. Then the devil dudes came down. I was like, oh, snap, he look cool. He looked cool, and his wife and his girlfriend look cool. They were like, I guess they were ancient Egyptian god people or something, because they had the stuff on. And I noticed that, like, when I watched it, I was like, wait, is he like a Is this Hindu? I don't. It's weird. So I mean, it'd be interesting to see that stuff. But I watched Jaffe, David Jaffe's reaction, or his comments about that. Laufey. And he was like, yeah, this ain't God of War. If you took the God of War name off of this game, nobody would be talking about it, because it would just be another game and the noise of all the games, and with magic and some lady protagonists fighting monsters. And I was like, yeah, he ain't wrong. He's right. And look, David Jaffe is the authority on he created God of War. So if you want to take any critical advice or any critiques about God of War, you take it from the dude who created God of War. He knows God of War, and he knows that God of War is not God of War anymore. Kratos has been neutered. 2018 was good, but he didn't like it because that's not Kratos. Old man Kratos sitting there teaching his son how to hunt? Hell no. Kratos would be like, listen, but smack him across the room, right? Like, get up. Well, that was your age. I was banging twins and the coffee table was flipping and flapping. And like, Dad, I'm too young to shut your son, boy. Shut up, boy. Nah, see, that doesn't work. Even talking like that, it's like, come on, bro. You're supposed to be angry. How you not angry no more? Because you had a wife and a kid, and then she dead. Would you be angry again? That would make me so angry. I would be the angriest person on the planet if my wife is gone and I got this knuckleheaded kid who don't know how to hunt. I'll be so mad. I'll be like, oh, hell to the no. I'm like, listen, Junior, you stand back there. I'm going to destroy everything. Watch and learn. This is how you do it. Are you ready? Okay. All right. And just kill it. It's like, wait, who's still alive? Who didn't I kill the last 3 times? See, I killed all the Greek guy. I killed my daddy. I killed him. I killed all the Ares. I killed his dad too. I killed. Who am I? Wait, I gotta go to another. Okay, Chinese. Nah, they got dragons. I'm gonna wait for that. I don't want no drag. Who? Jesus. I'm gonna kill his. I'm waiting for them to tackle Catholicism. I'm waiting for them to tackle Christianity. I want to see that. I want to see Kratos fighting Jesus. That's all. That would be hilarious. They will never touch that. They will never, just like they'll never touch freaking Judaism. Never, ever in the world they would touch that. Which is a shame, because that would be a super interesting game, right? That would be so crazy. I mean, if David Jaffe was in there, he'd do it. Yes, he would. He'd be like, yo, screw you guys. Y'all afraid? Man, my name is Jaffe. Watch this. Hold my latte. But nah. So, sorry, a little bit of distractors. But yeah, so a lot of people not feeling the Jello cube and the sword with the ribbons and all the stuff. And I'm like, it's not. I don't see the problem with the game inherently, but I agree with Jaffe. I agree with David Jaffe that it's not God of War. It's because Kratos is literally God of War. I mean, technically the God of War is Ares, but I think it's Ares, right? Or Mars? Ares? I think it's Ares. Anyway, Kratos, God of War, right? And the whole thing, you know, the whole vibe about the original 3 trilogy is that Kratos is so angry because of, you know, what happened to his family and the fact that I think he actually killed it. Anyway, whatever. And he has to wear the ashes of his dead. It's all kind of messed up. And so he's like, I'm so angry, I'm killing everybody. And then when I'm really tired, I'm gonna just go bang some sisters on the coffee table, Jenga. And it's a mini game. I want to see that in the remake. If they take out the banging the girls, they're not twins, the banging the girl, if they take out the titties, I'm gonna be angry, and that's it. Sony's done. This is how they destroy themselves. Because I know I'm going long on this one, but I know that there's been a trend, right? A lot of female protagonists and a lot of like kind of switching roles. Like, you know, Jin was in the first Ghost game, Ghost of Tsushima, and then Ghost of Yote, you know, oh yeah, he's gone and got a lady in there. So I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong with it, but everybody loved Jin. You got a character that you created that people wanted to play again, and you just messed it up because I'm gonna say it, DEI. Now, I know I said some stuff about this DEI, and I don't have a problem with females, but I remember doing a video about someone talking about Sony's kind of DEI initiative, and that they get financial incentives to have a certain amount of inclusion, if you will, in their games. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but there is something wrong with that, because it's like, it's not about, oh, let's not put any inclusion in it. They're doing it because of the money. That's why there are so many games on PlayStation that is like, oh, there's a female, oh, it's female. You notice that, right? And it's like I said again, I don't care. It doesn't matter as long as it makes the story better, or it helps the story, or it is in service of the storytelling. It doesn't matter. The sex doesn't matter. I mean, it does in the context of the storytelling. But when they're doing it because, you know, if they're in a certain state and they get a certain percentage of money to help pay for the cost of production, and that's why they're doing it outside, not even like, oh yeah, we're making a game about a female. No. They're like, okay, we're making a game about a female protagonist because we're getting money from the government. That's what the video that I saw. I was like, okay, is that, I don't know if it's true. Let me know in the comments below. But listen, it's just it's a pattern. You see it. I don't think it's a bad thing, like I said, but some people do. They're probably sexist or whatever, bigots or whatever. And that's just kind of the reality that we live in. So whatever. Doesn't mean that God of War Frey is gonna be bad. Fei. No. Is it a God of War game? Not really, because she's not. It's not the origin of the God of War is not her. She's like the after story. So they should have actually named it something else, but they put God of War on it for name cachet and blah blah blah. People buy it because they think it's a sequel. Whatever. You know how Sony plays their games. No pun intended. But yeah, it doesn't look bad, but I don't know if people are gonna vibe with it. Kind of like Ragnarok, like they didn't vibe with that too much either. They vibed with 2018, and I said this way before when Ragnarok was coming out. 2018 was cool, right? You know why it was cool? Because it was novel, it was new. They were like, boom, look at this. It's like, oh snap, they got a new camera angle, and Kratos is like blah blah, and the animations are cool. Everything was new. Atreus, he got a little knuckleheaded kid who's shooting arrows, and he shot his dad, and he was like, ouch, I'm gonna whoop your when I'm done whooping this troll's booty, you next. And Trace is like, oh shoot. Oh shoot. I better go clean my room or something. I don't know what he said. But anyway, yeah. It's look. I don't know how they will, Sony, PlayStation will be able to navigate away from what they have become. And what they have become is something that a lot of people don't like. You could just look at the sales, how they've gone down five years in a row. Their first party game sales have gone down. Now they went up last year by, what was it? By like I think 5 million or something like that. So it was like 27 million, and then a million or billion, and then went up to 31 or 2 or something like that. So we'll see. Is it going to go up again? Maybe because of Wolverine, but if we're talking about not revenue, we're talking about profit. That's a whole nother thing, because Marvel gotta get their cut. The Marvel cut is huge, and I don't know if the Wolverine cut is as big as the Spider-Man cut, but it's gonna be big. Just like Blade's gonna be a big cut, but Microsoft's like, man, we gotta bite the bullet. We gotta get a Marvel thing in here, so let's do it. Anyway, rambling. I appreciate you hanging, showing, like and subscribe. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know what you think about that state of Multiplat, state of everything's on Xbox as well, except for 2.5 games. And I appreciate. I'll talk to y'all next one too. To wait.